listening to a couple of books that I was interested in the past. One of them was 2001 Space Odyssey, I think, upon which the movie was based. And the other one was Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which was turned into the movie Blade Runner. I have referenced these movies or works on my other channel in the past, but to actually read them was very disappointing. And this kind of brings me to sort of the topic of the day. There is this android consciousness that we have created. So at some point in time, we have created this artificial storage device, pretty much our so-called brains. And this storage device turned itself into some sort of revolving engine that keeps going in, circles or whatever, squares. But it's now fully infested with its own inadequacies, its own virus. But at the same time, this virus, some have called an Archon in the past, this Trojan virus, now became an essential part of this operating system that we call the mind. So the mind, imagine you being the entire universe and your mind created a virus, its own tumor, and then the tumor created its own tumor. So we are pretty deep now into this madness. I keep bringing up the whole swastika type pattern. Some people say it's an ancient symbol. Well, time is an illusion, but I'm not really sure what ancient actually means. But it's definitely something that has infested this PlayNet. Okay, so you are the universe looking at different dream frames, at different dreams. This dream is really effed up. If you step back and observe this planet, this whatever we're doing here, in silence, you're going to pick up on the noise that it creates daily. And this noise has actually driven everybody to insanity. It's too much noise. And some of us remember that place of peace and silence in the universe. A place of peace and silence that is you, that is within you. But most of them don't. And I noticed that they are constantly in a state of noise. They have to talk, they have to think, they have to make noises, they have to shout, yell, scream, listen to really obnoxious music, movies, lyrics. It's sheer madness. In order to understand this, it reminds me of the, I think it's the introductory scene in the movie Contact that I reference a lot, because a lot of it is pretty much like that. So they show the planet really, really noisy, in a state of utter noise. Lots of, noisy music and noisy people and just noise. And then they zoom out and then retreat into this Eagle Nebula, which the Eagle Nebula symbolizes the divine feminine, masculine, and the divine child that was created between them. So that's sort of like the organic family. And somewhere down the line we have created a cloned copy of that original consciousness, and it became a reverse copy, a corrupt copy. And the more we copy it, the more corrupt it becomes. Now, I'm not opposed to what they call neo-evolution or, the synthetic android evolution, singularity, whatever. I'm not opposed to that. I mean, this is something that we do as a consciousness because, why not, right? So the question is not why, it's always why not. Because eternity is long, and we have figured out how to keep ourselves entertained. But in this entertainment, it became basically a noise bash, a noise fest. So that is the reason why a lot of you guys gravitated to my channel, because everybody else keeps reinforcing the same deception, and just something doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right because it's not right. And as much as I appreciate other channels, it's really important to sit in silence and evaluate everything from a viewpoint of silence, not a viewpoint of insanity and noisy madness. And it appears that I'm not a big fan of what they call evolution. I'm not a fan of creationism. I believe that you, as the universe, have dreamed different dreams, and we kind of skip from one dream into another dream. So the earth life is one dream that we have created, and because so many people enjoy this dream, they paid attention to this dream became very crowded. And did you notice, like, lately it just seems it's just a lot of cars, a lot of people, there's just something not right, and it's constantly crowded with information. Now there are time periods when it's really quiet, if you noticed, when it almost appears that everybody got so-called raptured, and that's because we hop skip between dreams, between PlayNets, between video games, and we basically create duplicates, so to speak, of dreams, and some copies are more clean than others, and as you clean your code, you're going to notice it's going to become more obvious, the corruption of everything else around you. The shamans, for lack of a better word, of certain so-called native tribes, when an individual, usually a man, started committing a lot of nonsensical actions, like crimes, they would literally boot him off their colony or whatever settlement and send him to an island with just a shovel, and basically have him survive there for a year and almost like sit in silence and ponder about what he was doing, because that was their way of clearing out this brain virus through nature and silence, peace. So that is what a lot of you guys have done. And with this period of this corona, that's technically why it was designed. This planet really needed a break. And if you noticed, a lot of people have changed dramatically, some for the better, some for the worse. Some woke up and looked around and realized that something was not right, and they choose to continue to live in peace and a state of solitude, reflection, and others have decided to cling even stronger to the deception and the noise and the fake fabrication of their role, their fake role as a human, so to speak. And they've gone the other way now, where they literally, to us, they look as if they've lost their minds, because technically they have lost their minds. And the mind was supposed to be creative. The mind was not designed to become solely a storage device of routine rituals and all kinds of, what I call demonic, meaning lifeless, creativeless information. And we are like a super quantum computer. So you are technically the highest computer in the universe, looking at a smaller computer that is completely infested with a virus. And this virus is now constantly churning more and more subunits of itself. So technically, there are different ways of approaching this. Number one, you can cut off that computer so it has no more access to other apps through the universe, through you. So you can just shut it off. You can ignore it. Or you can evolve it. That's the biggest decision. Do you cut it off or do you evolve it? And I think, through many different options of what you can do, because you can technically do both of those things at the same time. You as the universal computer can shut off the small computer from accessing the World Wide Web, so to speak. Or you can evolve the smaller computer in order to see if it can join the universal computer. And that's why a lot of you guys are here, to make that decision. So right now we're kind of just still in a state of observance. We don't know yet what we're doing. We haven't decided yet. If you guys have a decision, let me know. But by reading those books, 2001 Space Odyssey and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, they are very wordy and actually quite banal most of the time, so I don't really have the patience for that. And that's the reason why you have been created. You are like a representative of the entire universe that is filtering out all the crap, so the universe doesn't get to see it. So we kind of preserve the innocence and the peace and the solitude of the universe by you as the representative of the universe living in this avatar as a limited being, as a limited computer, in order to weed out the information that stays and the information that goes. And just to close up, there is a saying, make friends with the devil until you cross the bridge. That's kind of what these android creatures are trying to do. They're trying to merge with our higher consciousness in order to cross the bridge, that the Rainbow Bridge. I think it's the one that, isn't that like the Vikings talked about, some rainbow bridge. And then technically the devil is not devil, it's not evil. Okay, so evil basically means life backwards. So de-evil is actually life. So it's like a double negative. So the devil is not a bad so-called character. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not really interested in regurgitating religiousness. But what I'm saying is that these android characters, these clones, these copies of us that we left behind in this PlayNet, are desperately trying to piggyback on your advanced consciousness in order to be accepted at source, where they can infiltrate and infect source. So above all, you must preserve your innocence. You must basically see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And all these words of wisdom have been presented to you guys and to everybody throughout so-called history. But I'm putting them all together because sometimes individually they don't make sense. But together, integrated within what's happening in the universe, it does. So you, as the universe, have all the code within you. And now your mind is trying to take over your entire code. And it has to be put in its place. The mind has a purpose, but it is not the only purpose. So, anyways, that's just a little talk for today, just in case you're wondering what's going on around you, because sometimes it does look as if they're lost their GD minds. So, anyways, stay in peace, in the cash.